Welcome back to T-Mail. Today, my message is from Bratman94. Dear Tarana, if you had a chance to work somewhere where your accommodations and food were taken care of, but you won't get paid, would you work there? Or would you go for a job that pays you, but you got to spend all that in paying bills and worry about paying bills every month? Which one would you choose? I'm sorry if you find my question silly, but I'm trying to understand what should be more important for an individual, money or mental peace. So here's the thing. I don't think it's realistic to think that you can live in a world and not make money. So even if you had a job where your accommodations were taken care of and your food was taken care of, how would you deal with like going to the movies or, buying a pair of sneakers or a jacket when you're cold or whatever? I think we need money fundamentally to function. I think it's probably more realistic to think about finding a job that you love and finding mental peace in your life generally. And that can come from doing work that you love. That's sort of a privileged approach. Everybody can't have a job they love. Sometimes you just gotta have a job at McDonald's. And sometimes you have a job at McDonald's and you love that. But I think finding mental peace is really, really important no matter where you work. And maybe not connecting that to your work is an important thing to do. Finding mental peace in your outside life, finding ways to find joy and happiness in your surroundings, in your community is probably the best way to go. And if you can stretch a little bit of that into the ways in which you make money, that's even better. But I just don't think it's realistic that you would have to choose one or the other. I mean, if it came down to me, I'd love to have a job that paid me to have mental peace. But we'd all love that. I just don't know what that job is. There's a whole trend of people who are dedicated to the movement, who are in the movement and want to do movement work, and think because they're doing movement work, they shouldn't be fully compensated for that. That you have to be a martyr for the movement, and that's not true either. Your work should be fully compensated. Now, sometimes when you're doing movement work, nonprofit work, the people who are hiring you can't afford to pay you market rate or whatever that is, but you should be compensated and compensated fairly. I always feel I've been doing movement work, nonprofit work my entire career, and I always feel like the places that you work should operate inside with the same kind of values that they espouse outside. And so if they are talking about fairness and liberation and justice outside, they should mirror that inside, and that should be also mirrored in how they pay you. And so that also means that you should be paid fairly if you are working in the movement, right? That's not something that you sacrifice for accommodations or for anything. It also goes for the people trying to make it, like in the industry. You have these fake interns. People love throwing around the word intern or, getting paid for exchange for visibility to work for somebody. You can't pay your rent and visibility, right? You can't eat visibility. So if you are working somewhere, somebody need to pay you some money. If you are working an 8-hour day, somebody need to give you 8 hours worth of pay. And again, you need to use your discernment. Sometimes you can exchange your gifts and talents for something that might get you exposure, but you have to use your discernment about what that is and who that is. If that person has 6,000 followers on Instagram and they're talking about, come work with me and I'm trying to put you on, like for real, like use your discernment. Everybody is trying to be somebody and they will step on you to get where they gotta go. So just be careful out there because these people are real whack.